Hello and welcome to the Maple Grove City Report. I'm Dave Kaiser, joined by Heidi Nelson, Maple Grove City Administrator. Welcome again, Heidi.
Thank you.
We're here to give you a recap of a rather short council meeting that happened in mid-August, and also a bonus meeting to talk about the budget, and then a number of items coming up. We've got some things that are ending for the summer and also some new things coming up, so stay tuned to that. But first, let's talk about that special meeting.
Yep.
So before the council meeting on the 15th, there was a budget meeting. Tell us about the process. Where are we now and what's yet to come?
Yeah, so we met at 6:30 prior to the regular meeting to talk about kind of the preliminary budget for the 2017 fiscal year. We start our budget process internally as a staff kind of late spring, early summer. Jim Knutson, our finance director, works with his team to put that together, and all of our department directors. And then as we get closer to kind of this August time frame, Jim and I really kind of hone in on what the priorities are in the budget and what we want to bring forward to the City Council. So we've been working on that. This was kind of the first presentation to the City Council about the budget. In September, we'll be setting the preliminary levy, so we have to certify that to the county by the end of September. So we're proposing to do that on September 6th. What we reviewed with the council is a levy increase of just under 3%. You know, the biggest driver of our budget, of course, is personnel costs. So that's probably the biggest component. We have some staffing decisions to make about additional positions, and the council really kind of focuses at this point about just sort of allocating a dollar amount, and then we'll consider those decisions between September and November about what the priorities are for additional positions that might be considered as part of the final budget. So adopting that preliminary levy on September 6th, that sets the high water mark. We can't go up from there, but we can go down. Right. And then we'll continue to work, anticipate probably have another kind of a budget workshop meeting in the November timeframe, and then we would be adopting that final budget and levy at the first meeting in December.
Very good. So the process moves along. Again, more information about that is on the city's website. The meeting itself then on the 15th was actually 14 minutes long, so we don't have a lot to talk about, but let's do our best here. As always, some public improvement project items, and we want to cover that just in a grouping here. A number of projects, as always, continue to move along. Tell us about those.
Yes, we have a number of subdivisions that are now moving into the phase where their public improvements will be constructed, and if you've been following along, you've seen some of these projects move through getting their land use approvals. Right. So now the projects that are moving forward are Cambridge Park. This is the townhome development out at Lawndale and County Road 30. We have Killarney Glen. That's a small subdivision in the southwest area of the city. Mirabel is that project just kind of north across the street from Lifetime in the community center there on the corner of Weaver Lake Road and Norwood. Already a lot of grading work happening on that site. We have the Village at Arbor Lakes. A lot of grading has already occurred there, but now you'll see those public improvements in terms of the streets and infrastructure starting to move forward there. And then we have Water's Edge at Central Park, and this is another townhome development kind of on that northeast corner of Central Park area. So kind of move through the first part of the summer construction. Now these projects will pick up here, you know, August through late October, early November, and finish up before the construction season's over.
Good, so that keeps you updated on what has been happening. There's another project that's coming. We'll tell you about that in just a minute. But first, let's talk wildlife in the city of Maple Grove. Not often brought up at the council meeting, but it was. And tell us a little bit about why this is on the agenda at this time. And then there's a special part of it that one of the council members wanted to point out.
Sure. So every year the city adopts a wildlife management plan. And basically what it does is it outlines areas where hunting will be permitted for various types of wildlife during the hunting seasons. And this is done to just kind of help manage the wildlife population in the community. Our police department does a review annually of where they see a lot of conflicts happening between vehicles and wildlife and people and whatnot, and identify maybe some problem areas that we need to focus on. And so one area or one partner that we have in that is an organization called Capable Partners. And so the city identifies a specific area that Capable Partners will go out and they utilize some of that land for hunting, and they focus on bringing folks out that have disabilities and helping them to get out and enjoy some of that fall hunting activity. So that was an area that Councilmember Jagger wanted to focus on and kind of highlight that really great program in our community, and so we had a little discussion about that.
So do you see a time when the wildlife management goes away completely? My guess would be it's been shrinking in the city of Maple Grove, but Will it always be there? I'm trying to think of other cities around us that have something like this, and I think there might be a few.
Yeah.
So does it live on?
Well, I think it, as development continues to move forward and we have less and less areas where you have sort of the distances that you need from structures to where the hunting activity would take place, certainly those areas will be reduced, and that's just something we'll continue to look at on an annual basis and see if there's areas that it's safe for those activities to occur. But yeah, clearly it gets impacted by land being developed.
All right, let's move ahead to special business. And there was a public hearing that was held, and this is on the new project. Give us an update on that project.
Yeah, so this is a project, a small subdivision in the southwest area of the city called Plymouth Meadows, and this is a 9-lot subdivision. So this project has received its land use approvals, and now we're just moving forward to order the plans and specs for their public improvements. So you'll see this one coming back around when we get the bids in, and then see if that timing works to get some of those improvements going this fall. So
Very good.
again, more of that kind of single-family development in the southwest area of the city.
All right. Those were the main items on the agenda. There were a few updates from some of the departments, and one was Ken Ashfield talking about public works and engineering, and his big word was rain.
Yeah.
Why is Ken so worried about the rain, or why is that something that he's talking about?
Yeah, so we have a lot of big projects going on. Some of them aren't our projects, but they certainly impact us and our community and our residents, and that would be the 494 project as well as the 610 project. And so I think the 610 project has had a little bit more impact from the rain that we've been having. Usually you think of August as sort of being that hot, dry month,
Exactly.
and it's certainly been hot, but we've certainly had our share of rain, and so that can get a little bit difficult if you're dealing with soils that don't have an opportunity to dry out and whatnot. So Ken's dealing with that on a daily basis. We also have our own street maintenance project in the center of the city, and that one's moving along fine as well. But again, that rain can trip us up. So Ken's been monitoring that and seeing how our timelines are looking for getting those projects done as we move into the fall here and the end of the construction season.
Very good.
Yeah.
One other note that Ken made was related to ash trees, and
Yep.
maybe we can just spend a minute on that because
Yeah.
we've heard all the talk about the emerald ash borer, but the city's being proactive, it sounds like. Tell us about some of the ash trees that maybe aren't doing so well just because of their age,
Yep.
that the city's taking care of that.
Yeah, so recently the city adopted an emerald ash borer management plan, and so part of that is that when we see opportunities to do removals of those ash trees where maybe the trees are stressed or they're not thriving, we'll go out and proactively remove and replace, and we'll consider whether is the reason why they're not thriving is because of where they're located or whatnot. So we'll always do that analysis to see if we want to replace, but then the goal is to replace with a much more diverse species so that we don't have these situations where all the elm trees are being wiped out or all the oak trees and now all the ash trees. And so we really want to diversify our urban forest in the city so that we can withstand some of these different things that come to attack the trees. So yeah, they're doing some kind of proactive removals, so the community might see some of that activity happening.
All right, let's talk about your updates to the council. One was the comp plan.
Yeah.
Continue march on. Tell us about September 6th. What happens there?
Yeah, so we're gonna, we took the 15th off. We had a couple folks that weren't able to make that meeting, so we took the 15th off and rededicated that time to the budget.
Right.
But now on September 6th, which the meeting moves to Tuesday because of the Labor Day holiday, we'll pick back up with that comp plan process. And so we're really just kind of getting started and building the foundation of where we're at from a land use perspective. And now we're gonna, as the meetings progress, kind of dig into more of the detail, particularly in the gravel mining area and up in the 610 corridor, checking that land use, and there's some areas that we need to shift some things, and so that'll be the work of the committee. And then we anticipate, as we get later into the fall, winter, some public engagement meetings about the comp plan.
And it is great reading, so if you want to look through the documents from the last comp plan, it's a lot of fun stuff to look at.
Yep.
Hindu Society, talk about their master plan. They've come before, not before the council, but just more informative for the city, I understand, with some ideas. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we've long had discussions with the Hindu Society of Minnesota, the temple, kind of up in the northwest quadrant of the city. They have some goals about build out of their campus up there, and so they've put together kind of a preliminary master plan that they've provided to us at a staff level. So we've been reviewing that and providing them some feedback. But This was more just kind of alert the council that they likely might see something coming forward in terms of kind of a phase one project there for their master plan, and things that would be considered sort of related to the temple in terms of maybe some staff housing and an educational center. They have some long-term goals that are broader than that, but I think these are the kind of the first two pieces. So likely see something coming forward on that in the months to come.
Okay.
Yep.
Final item from the agenda. I think there are some council members who are state fair fans because they want to make sure you ride the bus along with them.
Yes.
Tell us about the bus service once again for the fair.
Yeah, so State Fair right around the corner here. Hard to believe
Yes,
that we're
it is.
coming to that time of the summer. But State Fair bus service on the weekends from the Transit Center there at Arbor Lakes, $5 round trip. Of course, we have our regular transit service during the week, so it's not during, Monday through Friday
Right.
during commuter time, but really just focused on those weekends. So great opportunity to ride the bus. I know I always do that when I go to the fair. It's so much easier than trying to battle the traffic and the parking and whatnot, and very convenient right there in Maple Grove, right off the interstate. So
And
really
it's at the
encourage-
Arbor Lake Station only, correct? Okay.
Right.
Very good.
Yep.
So that is it from the council meeting on the 15th. Again, short and sweet, but we do have a number of other items of things happening around town. And let's start with fashion in the city of Maple Grove. For
Yeah.
people that like fashion, there's a couple opportunities coming up.
Yeah, so we have a couple of fashion shows this week. Both of them happen at the community center. The teen center is holding their event tonight, so as you're watching this, it's probably already occurred on Wednesday the 17th. And then the senior fashion flare show is on Thursday the 18th. We have about 41 teen volunteers
Great.
involved in the teen show this evening. That's kind of fun. And then tonight, Miss Minnesota International and Miss Teen Minnesota International will be there to kind of MC and host the event. So these are great events for the community, but it's also a great opportunity for our local businesses
You
and
bet.
shops to showcase kind of some of their new fashion trends for the fall season. And I've not been to these events before, but I'm going tonight, so I'm pretty excited to see.
All right, we'll get the full report on Maple Grove fashion at the next time we get together.
You will.
Twin Cities Live, people know about that show
Yep.
here in the area, and they are going to be at the farmers market. Why?
Yeah, so they wanted to come out and highlight kind of the farmers market, craze in the metro area, and decided Maple Grove was the place to be, and we're
Perfect.
happy to have them. So Thursday the 18th, this will be tomorrow as you watch this. They're going to do a live shot from the farmers market in their 3 to 4 o'clock hours. So if you want to come on out for that, or you could certainly catch it on TV during their 3 to 4 o'clock hour. And then they'll be sticking around the market in the afternoon and have some giveaways and that kind
Very
of a
nice.
thing. So nice recognition for the market to get a
Yes.
local TV show out to feature what we do there. And market is open again from 3 to 7 at the community center parking lot every Thursday now through October.
Very good. We're hoping for nice weather, so it's perfect when they're out there.
Yep.
Let's talk about Twitter. Again,
Yeah.
Twitter and the city of Maple Grove do go together. In
They
what
do.
way? What can people see from Maple Grove on Twitter?
Yeah, so we just kind of went live with our Twitter handle, and our handle, it's sort of the same as the end of our email addresses, which is maplegrovemn.gov, and it's all together, maplegrovemn.gov.
Okay.
So if you want to go out and search for us and hook up to us on Twitter, just another great way to connect with people over social media. A lot of the local media and metro area media kind of pay attention to those Twitter updates, and so great way to get our messaging out and capture maybe folks, maybe the younger crowd that isn't necessarily so much into Facebook anymore.
Right.
And so we're just trying to broaden that social media horizon and getting active on Twitter.
So any top 2 or 3 things that you're sending out, type of things you'll send out from the city? What type of information?
Yeah, really, it's kind of almost the same thing that we're doing on Facebook,
Okay.
and so we're just sending it out on a different platform, a little bit different format when you're doing Twitter. It's got to be shorter and whatnot, but
Farmers
it's really,
market?
Yep, farmers market, and the other piece is employment opportunities.
Oh, very good.
We put out some information about council fund, those kinds of things that are going on in the community that we just want general awareness about.
All right, so start tweeting. Watch that Twitter because information about the city will be there. It is time once again for the Park and Rec brochure to come out, so
Yep.
people should be watching their mail.
Yeah, so the fall brochure is coming out with all of the activities for the fall. This is, we still do this in a paper publication. I think people really like to get that that book and have it around. I know, I always keep mine around and in my community and use that. So watch for your mail for that, and then keep it around. around for all those fall activity opportunities.
And it is online as well, I
For sure.
believe, so people can page through it just like the paper copy online.
Yes,
so you can still
absolutely.
get a little bit of that feel.
Yep.
All right, we mentioned at the beginning of the show that it is getting towards the end of summer, and some of the summertime things are wrapping up. Tell us about a couple of the water opportunities that you've only got a short window left.
We do, just till the end of this weekend. Weaver Lake Beach wraps up its season on the 21st of August. That's Sunday. But, you know, there's a lot of great amenities there going into the fall season, too, just for hiking, walking, and picnicking and whatnot. And there's playground activities there, so we encourage people to continue to get out. But beach is wrapping up. The community center outdoor pool will be open through Labor Day. The hours for that Monday through Saturday 10 to 8, and then Sundays and Labor Day 10 to 6. So just a couple weeks left on that.
It's not in our notes, but I heard a question from someone about the splash pad at Central Park. My guess would be that might stay open a little longer.
Yeah.
Doesn't require the staff that some of those other facilities require.
Right, yeah, so we don't have lifeguard issues there with kids going back to college and school and whatnot. So, you know, I haven't heard a date yet on when that'll close down.
Okay.
But I think they had it open last season well into September. So, you know, we can have some pretty nice days getting into the fall here. And,
We'll
and
let
you're
you
right.
know on that.
Yep.
And they're not making ice yet, so that's
Not
the
yet.
good thing. No
Nope,
ice yet.
that's not till November.
Let's hop over to Town Green. Again, the series wrapping up there. Tell us about some of the opportunities here in the end of August.
Yeah, so a fun movie this Friday night, the 19th. Mamma Mia will be playing there.
Very good.
That's kind of one of my favorites. And then kicking off next week, we have Coyote Wild on Monday night. That's kind of a country band. Wednesday, August 24th, duly noted. That's a dueling pianos act.
Should be fun.
That sounds kind of fun. And then the daytime activity for the kids, Duke Otherwise, on Thursday, August 25th. So another fun week of activities out at Town Green.
All right, here's an opportunity coming up for 14 to 20-year-olds, and it has a tie-in with the police department.
Yep.
Explorers. First, tell us a little bit about what are Explorers and how does the city work with Explorers?
Yeah, so this is a program for youth aged 14 through 20, and the Maple Grove Police Department has its own Explorer program, and it's a great way for youth that are interested in a law enforcement or criminal justice related career, or they just have interests in serving the community, for them to learn about policing, law enforcement careers, and then how officers handle situations that they face on a daily basis. We provide all the training and the uniforms, all those kinds of things. In fact, our Explorers went off to a conference this summer, and we provide opportunities for that. So it's a really great activity for kids to get involved in, not only, you know, if they're interested in the law enforcement opportunities, but also, you know, just kind of helping them learn some skills in terms of how they deal with situations on a daily basis. So it's a great program. There's an informational meeting Monday, September 12th at 7 p.m., and that'll be held at the North Metro Range there off of 89th Avenue, the range that the city owns. Parents are welcome and encouraged to attend this meeting with their child, depending on their age, and then you don't have to sign up for the meeting, you can just show up. So that's Monday, September 12th at 7 p.m. at the North Metro Range.
Very good, neat opportunity. I know other cities do it as well, and there's actually some competitions. You mentioned again conferences that people can get involved in with that.
Yep.
It is election season. Let's talk 2-3 items about elections. First of all, filings. In the city of Maple Grove, your filings happen in August, and as we're taping this, those have just closed. And what do we have that will be coming up on the ballot?
Yeah, so filing closed yesterday at 5 p.m. on Tuesday, the 16th. We have 6 candidates for 2 seats on the City Council. The candidates that filed were Christy Barnett, Adam Bedard, Dave Brown, Jeffrey Drayton, Judy Hansen, and then Sherry Marie Johnson. So you'll see those 6 candidates on the ballot this fall. As a way to, we have some information on our website. There's some of the candidates have websites, and so you can access information about, you know, what their issues are and why they're running for City Council there. There also will be some candidate forums coming up here later, starting later in September and then through October. The one for the City Council will be on October 20th. Those are generally held in the evening. The League of Women Voters host that one, and then throughout September there will be on September 20th, North Metro Mayors is hosting a candidate forum for the District 34 Senate and House representatives.
Okay.
On September 29th, the school district will be having a candidate forum, and then on October 13th for Hennepin County, and then again for our state legislative positions. So information on our website about all of those candidate forums, but that's a really great way for people to get out and meet those candidates and listen during the forum, and opportunities to ask questions. So
perfect.
Pretty active month.
And Northwest Community Television Channel 12 does go out and cover a lot of those forums, so you can see those either live on the city's Channel 16 or replayed on Channel 12, and also as video links, so you can watch them at any time you like to when they are completed up until Election Day. So those will be out there. Election Day is November 8th.
That's
and
correct.
The reason Election Day runs so smoothly in Maple Grove is because of the election judges. And there's always a need for more. Tell us again about the important role they play and how people can get involved.
Yeah, so our staff at City Hall is responsible for sort of coordinating and administering the election process, but we could not do that without the service of our election judges. So the city on an annual basis can employ up to about 500 election judges. We have 24 precincts that we need to staff and operate the polls at, and so very important role. If you are interested and can be available on Election Day and for some trainings leading up to that time frame, we'd certainly love to hear from you. Amy Dietl is our city clerk. You can contact her at City Hall. Information is also available on our website about that, but if that's something that you think you might be able to do, we'd certainly love to hear from you and get you on board for this upcoming general election.
And even if you can't do it this year, I'm sure Amy would take your message and say, okay, I'll put you on the list for the next time around. But
That's
again,
correct.
a key part of what happens.
Yes.
One final note, a recognition that potentially coming to the city. Tell us about this.
Yeah, so our Public Works Engineering Department has been in the past few years implementing a new software system called Graaff. And what it does is it allows us to sort of inventory and track the condition of a lot of our assets that are around the community. So think about light poles and fire hydrants and all those kinds of things, and document their physical location and their condition. And then it becomes sort of this great database that we can proactively look at in terms of determining, where we're doing our street maintenance projects. Are there things that we need to be considering, replacement of or upgrades to when we're out doing that work? So it really helps us in terms of having a great picture of what assets we have throughout the community, and then understanding, kind of prioritizing sort of that capital investment process with those. And so a lot of front end work in getting all of that data into the system.
Oh, I'm sure.
Just very, and it involves people going out and physically sort of marking and then documenting the condition of those assets. But pays off at the back end in a very significant way. So I think this is just sort of a demonstration of an investment in technology that really yields some efficiencies on the back end of us being able to target our capital improvements in a more efficient manner.
All right, congratulations to Public Works for working on that type of a program.
Yes.
So that is it as far as updates in the meeting. Again, a rather short meeting, but a lot going on in the city, and as always, go to the city's website to find out more. Heidi, thank you very much for taking your time with us.
You're welcome.
Let's leave you with another date. This is the next council meeting date, and you'll note it is not on a regular Monday because of the holiday. Let me just double check here. It is on, what is the date?
Tuesday, September 6th.
Tuesday, September 6th. All right, so just to make sure there, so it is Tuesday the 6th, 7:30 at the Government Center. See the website on the top of the screen, maplegrovemn.gov. Find out more. And remember, the city is tweeting now, so stay in touch with that. Any questions or comments about the program, or viewer response line 533-1710. For Heidi Nelson, I'm Dave Kaiser. Thanks for joining us.